Greetings, salutations, welcome everyone to the fourth Trust Me, I'm Not an Expert podcast. I'm your host, JT, and over there, your co-host, that man named Ice. I've been working on your intro, man.
You make me nervous every show. Every show, I'm just like, man, what is he finna say?
One of these days, I'm gonna fuck it up. It's gonna be great.
Right.
I want you to leave it in when I do it, though.
Nah, I got you.
We got a great show for you today. We got to talk a little NBA news. We got some breaking news from the NBA. Also going to talk a little bit of NFL. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit of pop culture entertainment news and how we feel about it.
Yeah.
But first, I want to just take a quick moment to say rest in peace to Takeoff. We just got news that yesterday he was shot in Houston fatally. Details are still coming out. We don't know what we don't know. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I do want to just kind of take a moment to just say rest in peace to Kirshnick Ball, a.k.a. Takeoff of the Migos. And I want to just say my condolences to him and his family.
Yes, condolences to him and his family. That's a great loss. Even to be slain and murdered like that in front of your uncle, it's pretty traumatizing.
Yeah,
28 years old.
Yeah, it was. It's too young, man, and it's been happening way too much in this country. And I mean, we could get into what this means for black entertainment. We can get into what this means as far as gun control in this country. We can get into what it means to the grand scheme of what it just means to be a black entertainer. But guess what? We don't got time for that.
That's such an ongoing conversation, and there's no true real answer.
Not yet. Yeah, we don't have an answer.
Yeah.
And that's because we're not an expert.
Nah.
But overall, seriously, though, I do want to
being a black man in those situations.
Yeah,
we are experts.
Listen, y'all take care of yourselves. That's all I gotta say.
Be smart. Make sure you get home. Like, get home is the goal.
Like, any kind of altercations. I mean, you and I are old enough to know what the generation before us did, but we also know what the generation now does and the generation after us does.
Yeah.
And it escalated quickly from you might get your ass beat, to now you might get put in a box. And it's sad.
They putting niggas in the box way too much now, though.
Yeah.
And it's our people killing each other, you know.
Usually, and it's unfortunate. And it usually be people who are successful.
Right.
And I mean, when you're that kind of successful, and this is the last thing I want to kind of say on it, you have the ability to do more with just the fact that you just have more resources from a financial standpoint, where you can actually make an impact on your community. You can actually give back to the community that you came from, and it actually be equitable change. Like, we've seen it happen.
But a part of being able to do that is not being in places where you could not make it home.
True. And I mean, when you are, young and rich, you don't even got to be rich. When you're just young, it's kind of hard to kind of to know where you've been put in a situation where maybe I shouldn't be here, especially when you're a public figure. It's very easy to be recluse if you have made your money in the shadows. But when you make your money as an entertainer, you got to be social. You got to be out there. So the nuance of like when to be in there and when to get out, when the situation is not in your favor, and when stuff can turn, it's hard to do. Anyway, it's a lot of stuff we don't know. We'll find out more as it comes out, and we'll take it from there. In NBA news, we got a breaking story. Breaking story. Turns out Steve Nash, not the coach for the Nets.
And I was just asking for Doc Rivers to be fired, and they fire Steve Nash.
How's that for progress? Fuck. Isn't this what
we
wanted, though? We wanted the day where a black coach that should be fired, not being fired because he's institutional at this point.
What?
And another black coach that did something. We don't know how bad, and we don't know how light, but it was bad enough for him to be suspended, but not bad enough for him to lose his job.
Sources
2 months into his suspension, get a new job.
Hey, sources say, because I got a black market connection up there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Don't.
No.
We
All
might
right.
get sponsors. Don't do that.
Right.
Not
Right.
yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Nash getting fired is a little late. KD wanted him fired this summer, and the Nets was like, "No, I'm gonna stand by this." So the fact that he's gone now, oh well.
Yeah.
I will see an uptick in the Nets production. Watch. He wasn't. He never coached.
It was weird.
Granted, they've never had a good roster, but he's never coached either.
I'm gonna push back on you a little bit on the never had a good roster part.
For 2 seconds, yeah.
Mainly because 2 things. One, we had a roster that was quote unquote good on paper,
Right.
but either injury or just didn't show up for random reasons.
Right.
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 That's not the coach's fault. That's not the GM's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I want to go back to what you said about KD wanting out.
He
right?
wanted him gone.
When a player does not get along with your best player, I mean, when the player doesn't get along with your coach, I mean,
Right.
when the coach and the best player is not vibing, 9 times out of 10, coach is out of there, right?
Right.
So you could pretty much just take easy Vegas odds that Nash was not going to make it towards the end of the season.
Unless they were playing stellar.
Unless they're playing stellar. And the only way they were going to play stellar is if Ben Simmons remembers how to play basketball.
Not going to happen.
And that's not Steve Nash's fault that this man that hasn't played professional basketball in 2 years, who could barely shoot in the first place, is going to remember how to play basketball.
I don't even think it's a remember. At this point, they making him play basketball.
Good. About time somebody made him do something. But overall, man, I think the real story is the after headline from that. Because right after it was like, and they're targeting Ime Udoka, and within 24 to 48 hours, he will be the coach.
And the Celtics green lighted, like, yeah, come get him. That way we ain't got to pay him. I really think it's a money thing.
It might be a liability thing. Because here's the thing:
if they fired him for knocking off,
we don't know what he did still, and we won't until the reports come out, right? Because what we do know,
they're not coming out,
is that the Celtics knew this and they were on it, and everyone that kind of sided with Ime prior was like, "Oh, my bad, I take it back.
Yeah, I'm out.
I didn't know the whole situation. I know the whole situation now. My bad, Celtics." Right?
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
So only thing we know is that he did something that was so bad that he could be suspended, but not something to where he lost his job.
Right.
It's so in the middle nebulous.
Yeah, I'm about to say, them reports are not coming out.
They will eventually, especially now since I think he is. I think they will, because now that he's moving to a different team, if there's any liability from a team standpoint, they're going to be like, "No, we did our job. We got rid of the coach." That's their problem now.
He's out, bro.
Yeah. And little feedback from the players. They're a little sad. Some of them actually was like, "Yo, we actually wanted him back."
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, the Celtics, I think they'll be fine, and it gives.
I like their interim guy,
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This fucking ice. I'm tripping.
Yeah, it's your ice maker, bro.
Bro, I'm finna shoot this bitch up. Like I'm my bad. Like I was like.
He got a new refrigerator, y'all, and this man's never had an ice maker apparently.
Chill. Nah,
when you coming up on this podcast money, you get new refrigerators, and the ice is just surprising. It's just all right. I'm gonna stop riffing, but anyway, yeah, man.
I did see where the players were a little saddened by
the
loss,
because again, they don't even know what he did to the extent, which is interesting.
My sources say different.
Some of them don't.
You're right. Yeah, some of them. Okay, that's fair.
From what I've seen, Marcus Smart does not know.
Okay. Yeah.
And Marcus is on the side of like, kind of bummed that he's leaving.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted him back.
Right.
I love the coaches here. All of them. I think Joe's doing a great job. By the way, Joe, 34 years old. Didn't know. I knew he was young.
No, I knew he was super young.
Didn't know he was that young. But anyway, it's going to be very interesting to see now that the Nets will have by all accounts, I think we agree, a better coach.
Coming from the Pop form.
Better coach.
Yeah, real coach.
Like, how is this team going to respond now that they actually have a coach? Because from the jump, the Nets, when they got assembled, they were like, we're so good, we don't need a coach. He can just coach on vibes.
Yo.
Remember that?
So when the Harden trade got made, that's literally what I was thinking. I was like, yo, I could coach them to the finals. This wasn't a pedigree thing. So for Nash to not have no real coaching experience, it was like, yeah, fuck it. He's a point guard. It's D'Antoni's system, whatever.
It was the Phoenix system.
Yeah.
A lot of old Phoenix staff.
Exactly.
In Brooklyn.
And he ran it to the T. So, like, why wouldn't he be able to kind of, like, put his insight on how this flows? I get it.
Yeah.
Once that shit got blew up, because I honestly believe if they had a real coach, James wouldn't have quit like that.
Yeah, because if they had a real coach, that coach will hold them responsible. He will hold them liable.
Yeah.
And by them, I mean Kyrie.
Don't do that.
I will. Because we're only 2 weeks in, and he's already doing Kyrie things. Like, I put it to you like this. Ice, what is your guess for when the Nets as an organization will implode the production so much that it doesn't matter who's playing, doesn't matter who's coaching, because they got protests in the fucking outside or in the front, or the anti-Semitic signs, or anything, just being straight up distractions because of the off-court stuff. Like, how long do you think that'll happen? I think it's going to happen. I say it'll probably happen around like January.
I don't think
like in about 2 months. What do you think?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think enough people in that actual NBA bubble care enough to be physically seen in disagreement.
I think I agree with you on that, and that's why I say January, because I think it'll get to a point where the fans will be like, yo, we got to stop this anti-Jewish agenda that we're seeing from Kyrie, Nets, anything like that. And Kyrie will be on some, Kyrie thing, on some like, I know more than you. You can't tell me what I know. He'll just, double down on whatever he was feeling. And he won't listen to people. And then the fans will then continue to put pressure. And then at that point, it's like, all right, now does the NBA got to step in? Because we're not, I see a scenario where we're not too far from that situation. Like, it could all die down right now. But because the way that Kyrie has perpetually just doubled down on whatever he's done throughout years.
I'm not putting it on Kyrie from the standpoint of, if you're steadily asking questions that ain't got shit to do about basketball, he's gonna answer you straight up. So if you want to hear controversy, then those questions will be asked. But that's not even why none of us are here.
Can I give you a little metaphor? Real quick. Let's say that you, on our social media page, posted a Wakanda Forever trailer, right? Not out of the line. You and I both know that we are fans of that movie.
Yeah.
And we are hyped about that movie. We're excited.
Right.
We're going to see it. And in this hypothetical situation, after you posted it, the press comes to us and they're like, yeah, so you being a supporter of Wakanda Forever, how you feel about this Wakanda Forever related question, right? And then we come out to them and we say, we're not a supporter of Wakanda Forever. I just saw it and I posted it. Now let's talk about our podcast. And they're like, but you posted it, so I would assume that you liked it or endorsed it or anything because you have a platform, so you post the Wakanda Forever thing on there, right? What I'm getting at is that, and Kyrie does this all the time, like he'll kind of tether that line where he's like, hey, I said something, I did something, but that's not, don't read too much into it because I'm not liable for it, or that's not what I meant. And in a normal way of thinking, you're like, but Kyrie, I mean, what did you expect for us to think? You know? And don't get it twisted. Like, from a human being standpoint, I'm sure Kyrie's great because everyone says that about him. Everyone says he's very nice, loves people, all that stuff. But there's always been this cognitive dissonance with him where he says one thing but does another thing, or he does one thing but says the opposite, right? And then when the inconsistencies get brought up, he's like, fuck's your problem? How dare you call me out on my inconsistencies? You know? And then it becomes this whole press versus player thing, but that's not really this situation is not really what it was, in my opinion. Like, that's not what this is. This is literally like, dude, you posted a book that was inaccurate, that had like a whole bunch of anti-Semitic things. Why? Like, this is especially in this environment, you know? Anybody else would expect to be answered questions about that, regardless of the profession that they do, right?
All right,
but not Kyrie.
Maybe I see the severity of the situation, but I think I would kind of fall into that same category with him. Just that's the type of person I am. Also, like, it would be more or less, why are you asking me about this now? Here?
Yeah.
You know, after a loss or whatever the case may be, like,
want to keep it on subject kind of thing.
Yeah, like,
okay. I'm cool with that.
Because even if you ask me, like, on Twitter or, you know, whatever platform I posted it on, you ask me then, I get it. I'm more in the pocket then, but as opposed to after a loss and you know, I was 11 for fucking 31 or some shit like that.
You KD about it, because KD was at it. He was kind of like that. He was like, yo, basketball question, KD, after a loss, how'd y'all feel? He was like, how you think we felt? He was like, you think we high-fiving? He was like, we like 1-4 or some shit.
Right.
Yeah. So he took it back to basketball. You know what I'm saying? And overall, I'm still excited for the coaching change because it is an upgrade. And this is your finals pick. So this is helping your finals pick.
Oh, no doubt.
So we'll see.
By the way, I can't stand by those finals pick because I am a Kyrie like-minded individual. So I don't even know what pick you're talking about, actually. You're going to have to pull that up on me.
Moving on.
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Mavericks blow an ugly one at the house against OKC.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it?
I have blamed every single loss that the Mavericks have had on the coach.
Okay.
Because they've been by like 2 points, you know. Outside of the OKC joint.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that's why I want to talk about this one, because the 2 points and
but technically with the OKC joint,
okay,
it went to OT, meaning at one point it could have been like a less than 2 point thing if they just got one basket, right? So again, that game pissed me off.
Exactly. Like I wanted to fight in the streets.
That game was. I mean, don't get me wrong, man.
And
You're gonna have games where you just can't buy a basket, and that's what that game was. Like,
no,
that
wasn't what that game was, because
they shot terribly that game.
we didn't shoot our best, but we got up because we were fucking making shots, playing a little.
We got up because we're better.
Playing a little.
Yeah,
We weren't supposed to lose because we're better, but because I mean,
can't be fucking around with a young team, man. This is your real estate. This is your NFT.
Hey, basketball question. All right, back to it. We are recording live.
Yeah.
From Victory Park.
Yeah.
Overlooking the fucking AAC. So yeah, it's got to be a percentage responsibility. So it's coaching 50%.
Okay.
I give 20% just to Luka breaking up the flow of the dirty team ball we were playing, because we were ragtagging that thing. Like I say, nobody really shot their best, but we got up.
You do this all the time, man. You did this last year.
Look,
I remember when Luka would be down, when Luka would be out, and the others would come in and they'll be doing their thing, and the Luka would come back, and you'd be like, he's fucking up the flow. And I was like, he's our best player, man. Like, he has to come back until on the floor. Like, the coach ain't gonna take him out.
No, it's not a leave Luka out thing, but it's kind of like a, hey, we don't need the hero ball just yet. All right, keep the super suit on the sideline, and let's rock, because
right.
You know, the whole battle on Twitter was, well, he was making the right pass, and motherfucker was missing. Yeah, after he dribbled that bitch for 20 seconds. After he dribbled that bitch for 20 seconds, and then he make the right pass. And it's like,
it's funny. It's funny you said that. Earlier on, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he had some concerns about Luka, and the concerns aren't necessarily echoing yours, but damn it, there's a Venn diagram. All right, and y'all got a little intersection in the middle. And I'm just like,
okay, but guess what? Guess who else is on that Venn diagram? Jason Kidd and the staff. Like, nobody's knocking Luka's game. What we're trying to get to is game has flow, and
I get it.
You lose. We talked about this off pod. Man, that synergy that comes from the ball.
Yeah.
These 3 and D guys, when they get the ball,
yeah, they gotta touch it.
They gotta touch it.
Yeah. Because it makes them, once they touch it, gives them more confidence. Yeah. They make a shot. They play better on defense. Right. You get more turnovers. You make more shots.
Unless you're Giannis and you're just fucking better.
Well, yeah.
And now your team is up in the third, and you got like 43, 14,
such a beast.
And 7.
He's such a beast, man. I think he's averaging like 34, 17.
That's the MVP.
Some shit like that.
That's the MVP.
I mean, it's very early, and I'm okay with it.
He's been the MVP the last 4 seasons. Quietly, they just
that Jokic, man.
Trust
tough,
me,
bro.
Joker Too Cold is my favorite, but it's Giannis, though. Like,
Giannis is the best player in the league, and I will fight anyone who thinks different.
When you showed me, you were like, "Hey, are you watching Euroball?" It wasn't because of Luka.
True.
It was because of a Greek bull. When him and Jokic played each other, I was like,
yeah,
yo.
That was great. By the way, when is Kid gonna unleash Dorsey? You talking about Euroball? Like, that's one of the he went off, and his shot is pure.
Oh, he's a shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Fucking Davis is Bertans is still hurt, so he has to play Dorsey
if he wanted to.
He needs to play him.
Keeps playing Compazzo again. I blame the coach. You put 50, I put 60. But you know what though?
What?
Jason Kidd always. Last year he did this shit where the lineups were a little weird, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, I was like, what the fuck is Kidd doing? And you remember,
you and my sister, y'all ready to throw this man to the streets.
This nigga's a bum. And I wasn't actively saying it, but I was feeling it, because I was like, I got to give him at least, 20 games.
Man, say
right?
you said that shit so much. I was like, you don't like Kid, and you like you would mumble that shit. And then he finally was like, all right, guys.
The team got the scheme down and all that stuff. Right. And I know that's what's going to happen with this team.
Exactly.
So I'm not too worried. I'm not even too worried about Luka because he's Luka.
See, Luka ain't Dirk. If this shit don't get settled, he's out.
Who? Luka?
He is.
Oh, you mean he'll leave in like 5 years?
Yeah, he'll bounce.
I'll worry about a 5-year problem around 4 years from now.
Let this shit not get any better. He's out, bro.
It'll be his fault if that's the case. If it don't get better, in my opinion. Because it's not gonna be Nico. Nico gonna make the moves. I'm not worried.
Oh man, it's like Nico sold his mama if you got picks back.
I understand you have a little NFL corner for us.
Dak is back, and I don't mean like last week back where they played the Lions.
Yeah,
and they beat up on a
terrible team.
Yeah,
I think they have like a total of 3 wins on the road in the past 3 years.
And shout out to Dan Campbell, man. He's an excellent coach. Like Texas native, but that was such an ugly victory. No, the blowout we had against Chicago, and I use the term "we" loosely.
The Bears.
Yeah, Dak is back, man. Ran a touchdown, threw a couple of dots to some no-name Cowboys. Got the tight ends involved. 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
On the ground.
Okay. Take that, fantasy.
Yeah, and it wasn't Zeke.
Okay.
It was the backup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, fantasy is going crazy with that. Jared Allen is a stud, toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football. Just outballed him, man. Like Jared Allen is like, he's so athletic from the quarterback position. He's almost like white Cam Newton.
So you're saying the commercials are true? They're real?
Yo, I have been watching football,
right?
And I'm forced to watch football now,
right?
He's legit, bro.
Okay.
Like he is a big problem on that field. He's not sloppy Ben Roethlisberger. He's a prop. I mean, throws lasers, stiff arms his mom out the way, and will pull it down in a heartbeat. These are not design runs. These are just like, yo, I'm bigger, I'm better.
Okay.
Stop me.
Okay. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Bro,
it's like throwback tackle with jerseys on.
Okay.
and he's like a 9th grader playing against 7th graders. It
unfair.
Man, when he was steamrolling the Packers, who aren't good.
You saying sounds like he was like a man amongst boys out there.
Yeah.
Or a Superman amongst men.
Look. Don't tempt me with a good segue.
I do this, all right? And folks, if you didn't know, Henry Cavill.
I thought it was Cavill.
It's Cavill.
Okay.
He's British, so, but it looks like it shouldn't be British, so I try to make it fancy. It's not. It's Cavill. Henry Cavill, our generation Superman, is now back.
It's official.
Folks, if you haven't seen my short review of Black Adam,
which was fucking spot on,
just check it out.
Baby viral.
Just check it out. Kind of a big deal around here.
Infant viral. Yeah.
Baby virus.
Nah, not a virus. Infant viral. It had a little.
Yeah, a little grasp.
Yeah, it was crawling. Got some comments and some feedback, and I was like, I'm jealous.
In that movie, if y'all didn't know, because you should know, that's the one thing they spoiled about the movie. We didn't have to do
right. It. I didn't have to spoil it. Yeah.
The bonus scene is that Henry Cavill mounts the cape again and meets The Rock's Black Adam at the end of that movie. Also, I'm like, hey, we need to talk. And then this kind of just got the hype going.
Where's my super suit?
This just got everybody hype. So hype that apparently there's a cost to get our Superman back, and the cost is that Netflix has to pay for it, and he's no longer going to be playing Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series, which is, in my opinion, Netflix's best show.
Yeah.
And it's not close.
Since Stranger Things.
You know what? I take it back. Stranger Things is still going. They got one more season. Witcher's number 2.
Hold on, Stranger Things coming back for a season 5?
It's the final season. Yeah.
Why?
They're not done. They're not done, and they shouldn't be done. That show's great. My point is he's not coming back, and I gotta be honest with you, bro. I'm a little sad.
Yeah, no, it's a big loss for this show.
Because here's the facts.
What's up?
And I'm an expert, so you can trust me on this. Sorry, I'm not an expert. The quality of product that we have had as Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia in this Witcher is better than the product that we have had as him as Superman. However, the potential for great Superman content is way better than what we can have as the Witcher.
Because you have to carry the one multiplied times James Gunn. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do, baby. And now that James Gunn is now going to be the Feige of DC, which is going to be awkward at those Guardians premieres.
Right, because he still has work to do for Marvel.
When Guardians 3 is over there promoting it and shit, it's going to be weird.
Probably not going to even promote. It's going to be like, yeah.
Oh, no, he going to get his check. He'll promote. He'll get his check. It's just James Gunn is just now he's figured out a way to corner both companies that are exploiting our inner child. He's like, yo, can I get checks from both of y'all? And you know what's funny about this whole thing? This all started when social media from the crazy side of social media tried to cancel James Gunn.
Oh, yeah.
From some shit he said years back. And he's like, yeah, that's not even a big deal. But I was younger. I don't feel that way anymore. And he ended up like getting put on hold.
Is that when he left and did Brightburn?
Nah, he left and then ended up getting hired for Suicide Squad.
Right. And he gave DC a little taste of
and then Suicide Squad got done. And it was like, yo, you so good. You want to do Peacemaker? He's like, yeah, I'll do Peacemaker. And then Disney was like, hey, let's just have you back and then you can just do Guardians 3. And he was like, cool. So what I'm trying to say is that people, when people are being toxic to you online, if you're just a better person, sometimes we get a good happy ending. Sometimes you end up with double checks.
I say this all the time, especially to my young boys. When people have a problem with something, you just got to produce. If you produce at a high level, they'll lose the problem.
Some of that you can't tell me nothing type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, though, man, I'm very excited about, how James Gunn is going to be pretty much bringing back, or at least supposed to be bringing back, that DC coercion. But at the same time, he's getting money from Marvel. And speaking of Marvel, man, I've been playing too much Marvel Snap. It's a problem. Have you? You
sent the link, bro. I just don't have that type of time in my life.
That's the point. Like,
okay.
I
don't have
the fucking game. Like, if you play a Marvel Snap game, you'll be done in like a minute. Like, it's short and satisfying. It has all the endorphins.
I heard the nostalgia music when you cranked it up too.
Man, listen, I used to play a game called Hearthstone for a very long time, and then the person that made that game left Blizzard like 4 or 5 years ago, and he was like, I'm making my own company, and he took a whole bunch of designers from Hearthstone with him.
Blizzard used to produce a lot of good shit.
They still kind of do, but they're nowhere close to where they used to be.
Where they used to be, yeah.
And they're on the verge of being owned by Microsoft, but we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Point is, man, the dude's name is Ben Brode.
Right.
And Ben Brode's got the juice. All right? My man Ben Brode is now just making the greatest card games ever. And I think we're seeing the genius at work. And that's all I got for Gaming Corner. If y'all just, have any type of boredom in between like your breaks, or you just sitting in like an office waiting for someone, or you just want to spare like 2, 3 to 5 minutes to kill, download Marvel Snap, check it out.
Did you get paid for that?
You might have some fun. That was free, all right? Because I endorse good shit. So do you too.
Look, man. I'm gonna be right there with you in T-minus maybe about a week.
Okay.
All right. I'm all in on Sonic Frontiers. The young me. Sonic hasn't been good in so long.
It's been a while.
And we are a week out from the November release of Sonic Frontiers, and I am.
This is the one that they actually take their time with.
They had to, and they had to just switch it up. I mean, the open zone layout. It's in the music. For one, Sonic always has good music. Even with bad games, it's always had good soundtracks. They literally, it's like they called up the guys over at Gran Turismo and was like, bring in the production.
Is the side note, is the music from, I think it's Starlight Zone? Is that the goated music? Is that goated?
It's up there.
It feels goated.
It's up there.
That gets me here.
It's young JT.
Yeah,
just kind of glows a little bit about that. Yeah.
Like when that hits my brain, and I'm just like, that's a hit.
Unfortunately, that's a hit. Yeah, no. They've always had good music, man. This is like house music, EDM.
Okay.
Dude, I'm so high on this horse.
Okay.
All right, we're riding in.
What's it releasing for?
Multi-platform.
Okay.
So some people were talking about the pop in and how it breaks down. It's like, yo, the shit is finna be on PS4, PS5, Xbox. I think the motherfucker gonna be on 360. It shouldn't.
That's not true.
Okay.
That can't be true.
Like, bro,
you mean the newer Xboxes and the older Xboxes?
Right. It's gonna be on the newer Xboxes and the older.
Because I think
Xboxes.
It's the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series X. I don't
Series 1 or
I don't
something?
Xbox.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Mainly because their names. At this point, it's just I don't. You give me a name that makes sense, I'll do it.
It's so multi-platform, so like no, it can't be optimized for PS5.
Okay.
Like I think it's gonna be on what's the latest Wii?
Switch.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It's on the Switch?
Yeah.
That's a good look.
Exactly.
That's a good look.
So I'm not worried about that. Man, the story, Ian Flynn, who writes for IDW, the comics, he has wrote the story for the game. Oh. And when I say the comics have been so good lately.
Okay.
This is a little bit older Sonic too. The voice actor, he's toning it down. Like this is almost like college Sonic.
Okay.
And
going to frat parties.
Think about the longevity of how long it would take to beat a Sonic because you couldn't save all those years in classic mode. You're talking about 40 hours.
40 hours without side quests or 40 hours with all side quests? Like what?
They're talking 60. If you complete everything, you're probably talking about 60 hours on the Sonic game.
That's a lot of game. It's almost like Sonic doesn't run fast in this. Wow. Is next week? Yeah. So you mean to tell me that
it took Sonic?
Your dream is coming true to where you not only get a new Wakanda movie,
right,
but you also get a new Sonic game?
Well, no, I don't dream about Wakanda, and we'll be there live to get first reactions. We're gonna record there. IMAX.
Outside the streets of IMAX.
Yeah, I gotta give you that money, but thanks for buying my ticket.
No problem.
But yeah, this is the reason why I'm gonna buy a PS5.
Okay.
I've been putting it off.
But this is forcing your hand.
This has completely forced my hand in my pockets.
Okay. All right.
I just bought a PS5 because of this.
Okay. All right.
I'm back.
Mortimer. We're back. We're back. And with that is the Trust Me, I'm Not an Expert podcast. Join us next week where we talk about
we got a big show next week.
Black Panther Part 2.
We're gonna record the show live from. We're gonna bring the table and the chairs.
We're gonna be in the lot.
I'm gonna bring the table and the chairs.
Okay.
We're gonna record literally from, and we're gonna interview people.
That'd be cool. Okay. Now, are we gonna do this before or after the movie? Both.
We'll only reactions.
Okay, so after.
After
Right.
anybody can, if you're in the Dallas area, pull up.
We're gonna be at the Web Chapel IMAX.
Yeah.
So pull up on us and
Come get it in 4K.
come hang out, yo. We're gonna really just come together, really talk about it. Might give out some tissue, but we're gonna feel some feelings in this movie.
And I might do a review for Sonic Forces.
You gonna do it live? It's gonna be great.
Frontier, my bad.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all later. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on all the social medias: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, your mama's Facebook.
We're not on Facebook.
And